What is going on, people? Welcome to Throw Down Your Questions, episode 309. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo.
Brett Murdoch.
What's up?
Adam Vale.
Sucker Free Sunday.
And Brian Monjoma.
Why does every game I talk about get delayed, Tony?
Yeah, I don't know. You need to just stop talking about games, bro.
Should have voodoo on it.
Well, Brian, because I still need to set up. What games have you talked about that have been delayed so far? Let's hear them all right now, man.
Well, recently, I talked about the Medium. Medium gets delayed the day after. I talked about Cyberpunk. Like 3 days later, it gets delayed. I don't know. It's like a weird curse right now.
Yeah, I don't know why that happens. And and then Star Citizen, obviously, that's like perpetually delayed. You know.
Quit saying it.
Well, no, if I say it, so yeah.
Every time you say it, it gets pushed back 15 minutes.
Okay, so no, you got to tell Brian that I don't have the curse. You know.
Anytime anybody mentions it, that's why we never saw Half-Life 3. There were too many Gabe Newell fat jokes, and it just got delayed into eternity.
Right? Oh man, that shit is crazy. So anyway, yes, we got a couple of things to tell you guys before we start. So we have a contest winner for our next gen November giveaway, but we got to make a little bit of a stipulation for the following contest because it took my man a little while to get back to us. It's like, bro, you guys can't be making us wait, chasing you down. It's like we giving you free games here, you know.
Exactly.
So the new rule is, yeah, man, he's fucking hilarious. For you guys listening, he has on Die Hard Man mask from Death Stranding. No, yeah, Blitz. We almost did re-roll, but he came back to us. But starting on Thursday, you're gonna have 24 hours to get back to us. If you don't get back to us in 24 hours, we're gonna re-roll through on your questions because we ain't gonna be chasing down the winners. You got to come to us, you know. And that's that. And Carlos, what is that on your screen, brother?
It's interesting you ask. It's interesting you ask.
That's Beep-Up-Oru, man.
It's Vicks Vapor Rub.
In the background, that's just his fridge.
Yeah. That is his fridge. That's right, man.
I'm one of the 2 people that got a fridge. Those Xbox Series X fridge. No, it's an Xbox Series X console. It's a legit, not a fake, not a 3D printed out one, not one that I got from the black market. It's a legit one.
Can you touch it? And we just see a hand as proof that it's not a still image.
I don't know. That's against the rules, man. That's it. I'm in embargo, man. I can't talk about that right now. Spoilers. Come on, Adam. You know this.
People will be like, you got it from the internet.
Yeah, it was Saturday. It was Saturday. Like me, it's funny because in the chat, in our Twitter chat with everyone here, it's like I always send a message like, yo, I haven't gotten updates on these fucking shippings, man. Fucking Xbox comes out on Tuesday, the 10th of November. It's already going to be the weekend. It still hasn't shipped. And one Saturday, I just went outside and saw a freaking box outside my house. I'm like, this could be either one of 2 things. This could be a gift from someone that I'm expecting, or actually 3 things. A gift from someone that I'm expecting, a random ass order I made from Amazon years ago that I is just barely shipping, a pre-order or something, or it's the next gen console. I wasn't holding my breath on the next gen console. What's up?
Real quick, they didn't send you even a notice that they were shipping it?
It still says that it's preparing to ship on the
thing.
thing.
You might get another one. No,
That'd be hilarious if you get another one.
Right? No. Shh. Let's not talk that into existence, man. Let's not jinx it. Anyways,
I don't talk about it. We're good.
So I can sell it in the black market. Yeah. So I got it, and I'm like, well, I opened it, and I'm like, oh shit, it's an Xbox. I'm like, god damn it, I wish it was the PS5.
Keep it real.
And then yeah, man, I've been playing it ever since. Installed it on my TV. Excuse me.
You know.
And, yo, man.
LG C10s, man.
That's a beast, and this thing is a beast too, man. So yeah, I've been playing that, and it's crazy. I try not to touch the console, like Adam keeps saying, like touch the console. No, man, that shit is a fingerprint magnet.
Yeah, it really is, man. It's crazy.
Hold on, check this out.
Yeah. Oh. See Carlos's white hand there.
Yeah, he flicked it a little bit.
Yeah, he flicked it a little bit. But just to tease you guys, if you want to hear more of Carlos's impressions, stay tuned because we will be doing a full review of the console tomorrow night, and we're gonna do it live too. Fuck that.
Oh shit, that's news to me.
Yeah, we're doing it live, man.
We're going live.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. It's gonna be fun, so cool.
Kind of like the way we used to do.
So
the
Carlos,
old
you're
unboxings.
officially the first of us who has a next gen console.
Yeah,
You are in the future.
Well, it
I
makes
wonder who
sense
will be
that
the
he
last of us.
ordered like
Oh,
6.
the last of us. It'll be Manny,
Oh, it'll be Manny or
or Brian.
Or-
Ooh, that's a good one. Who's gonna be last, Brian or Manny? Dun, dun,
You gonna-
dun.
Are y'all gonna
I think
take
it's
some
gonna be-
bets?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
Brian.
Brian will be the last one, to be honest.
No, then you should no. You should change it for the last one from people that ordered it because it could be forever. Manny's waiting for a certain game to trigger that impulse.
Yeah.
Well, Kojima's gonna announce something later this year, so.
That's just a racing game, though. He's not going to play that.
He's decided to go into a surefire hit, a racing game.
Yo, Carlos, by the way, man, you have a next gen console. I got a next gen controller, man. Let's go.
By the way, I got an evolutionary controller. You got a revolutionary controller.
Carlos. It's too bad you don't have that controller. You can check to see if it runs on there because it apparently runs on everything else but a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Oh, by the way,
Switch,
speaking about getting notifications by email, Microsoft did tell me that my Shock Blue Xbox controller is on its way. So
Where did you get it?
I got it from Microsoft. I just went to Microsoft.com and ordered it from there.
I got it from Amazon, and that shit still hasn't shipped.
Yeah, no, my shit is coming. So I have both next gen controllers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's the other update. I have a buddy of mine.
Yeah,
who
you always had a shirt, buddy.
He ordered his Xbox from Microsoft, and on Friday he received a notice that they were preparing to ship.
Yeah, I still
look at that.
fucking Walmart still telling me that shit.
Walmart, yeah,
man.
Walmart. Yeah.
Bullshit. Anyway, man, we got a lot of questions to answer tonight, man. So let's get into it. What's up?
Before anything, when there's enough people in the room, we're gonna do a quick giveaway because it's actually the 1-year anniversary of Death Stranding. It's actually today, so we still have a large Death Stranding poster from when I did the show last year. That was the art show for the opening. But I'm gonna sweeten the deal, and I'm also gonna be giving away the Die Hard Man print, as well as the Solid Zero book, as well as the Solid Zero digital version, and that'll all go to anybody who's in the chat currently.
Yeah, tonight. Yeah, if you guys are in the chat tonight, we're gonna take your. We're gonna do the same thing we always do. Take your name.
Yeah, we're gonna roll the wheel, and then you're going. One of you guys are gonna get it. And,
yeah, Carlos, you don't get shit, man.
Yo, man.
Man, you got the next gen. You got that.
Yo, man, this has been the week of surprises. Another surprise.
So hang out in the chat. You guys will have a chance to win something from us, man. Worldwide too. We ship everywhere.
Mr. Worldwide.
Nah, it doesn't.
Yeah, you already know, Fergus. You already know, man. He said thanks for the giveaway. Good stuff.
Definitely, man.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it, man. Questions, man. All right, first up. Now we got this question from 2 people. Very interesting. First, we got it from Tumeke and from Fergus Mills. They're basically asking, what do we prefer? Performance mode, right? Or fidelity mode? We're talking about basically a performance mode is where the game runs at 60 frames a second, right? But it may not have all the graphical bells and whistles. Or fidelity mode where it runs at 30 frames a second but has all the shit, ray tracing, all that fancy shit. So what do you guys prefer? You can only have one. You can't have both. Only one. Only one.
I'll go for.
You want that 4K textures?
I want everything to look like the way it should be. Because some games that go to 60 don't need it and don't look right. Like The Last of Us remastered. Something about it didn't look right. It could have stayed at 30. It didn't need the 60. So.
Yeah, I would say fidelity mode.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Yo, what's up?
I would have said performance.
Okay. Yeah.
I would have said performance mode, but then I saw some reviews for Spider-Man Miles Morales. The ray tracing shit changes everything. That shit is, looking at that game with and without ray tracing, it's like, yeah, I'm decided. I'm playing that shit in fidelity mode because it's
funny. It's funny because of frame rate mode, right, or performance mode is literally the PlayStation 4 version. It's running it. Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, man, it's night and day for me.
Oh, wait a
Whenever you
minute.
see it late.
So for the Miles game, you have to switch. You can't.
Yeah, you
it
can only
doesn't
have one or
work.
the other.
That's
Yeah.
kind of whack, man. That's kind of whack. This
Kind
is
of like
next-gen.
kind of like the way the Pro consoles were, right?
That was kind of whack too.
You either got Fidelity or you got the other thing.
Performance.
The only difference though, the only difference though is that there is, at least from what the reviewers have been saying, you can literally just flip that switch once. What you do is on the menu, you can literally have your preference say performance or fidelity. So everything's gonna have performance fidelity modes.
Logic Win says in a few years we won't have to choose between 60 FPS and ray tracing. Why, with the PS5 Pro and shit? Is that what you mean? You know, because these consoles ain't gonna get more powerful overnight like that. You know,
for you guys that have those super graphic cards in your PC, do you have to switch, or is it just say, you know what, all the shit's on, bells and whistles, everything?
well, if your graphics card can't hang, you ain't doing all that shit. You gotta make some compromises. You know, I actually would give you I'll give you an example. Watch Dogs. With my graphics card, I could only really have one or the other. I mean, I could, if I want all the bells and whistles and shit, it's going to run like 30 frames a second. So I have to knock down some shit to get it to run at like 60, you know? So, if you don't, like, if I had a 3080, everything cranked the fuck up, you know? Can't do that. I'm having a hard time with this. Like, if this was before I got my 4K TV, I would be like, performance mode all day, every day. That's what I always did on PlayStation 4 Pro. It's like, give me these frames. I don't give a fuck. Like, I like things to look nice, but I also want them to play nice. But, when you play games on 4K HDR, man, a game changer. I'm telling you, man, shit looks crazy,
No massive, it's pretty.
Yeah, it does. Like, you see all the, man, especially at HDR, though, So I'm going to begrudgingly say fidelity mode, even though I like the frames. All right, Chris, what about you?
Chris,
I'd
you
have
played it
to
on your
agree.
new fancy TV, didn't you?
What happened, Brett?
Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off. I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I agree. Like playing on fidelity mode seems like, the reason we're getting next gen. I mean, I'm probably by next month I will invest in a new TV, but the whole point is like to have these experiences, right? So if I put it on performance mode, while it's nice, you get those buttery frame rates. You're basically playing like last gen.
Yeah.
Manny said. So you got to turn that stuff on. That's why we're buying this hardware, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's the point?
So if you think about it, it's proving even right out the gate that these motherfuckers can't even do 60 frames per second 4K.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's it.
Brett, what was your question or statement?
I was gonna ask Carlos how he likes it. Didn't you just get a new TV, Carlos?
Yes.
How is it on the new fancy TV? Like, I'm just curious about how's the new whole experience of getting a new TV, getting a new console. Like, it has to actually. Does it feel like a next gen upgrade now?
It does, but one caveat is I've had a 4K OLED TV, like an LG 4K OLED TV also. Like, it's not my first one, so I'm a little bit, I've been privy to HDR 4K OLED, so it's not a completely new experience. It's not like Tony. Like, Tony is going through a revelation right now.
You already know, man.
At Planet Earth on 4K and HDR, and it's like fucking amazing. And I'm
Dude,
like,
I literally went from fucking Roman times to the modern age overnight. Like, what the fuck? Modern plumbing. What is this? Romans had plumbing too. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but the TV I got, the CX, is a big improvement over what I previously had, and not only that, but it also has support for HDMI 2.1, which means that I can play with the best thing that I've played. Obviously I don't have review codes for the next gen games, or it's still not release date or launch day yet, so I don't have a lot of those updates. But what I do have is the update for Ori and Will of the Wisps, which is 4K HDR, 120 frames per second, and that shit on my TV, that shit is nuts, man. That shit is worth the fucking price of admission. That's
awesome, man. Ooh, I can't wait to get that PS5 and really think, because the thing, my graphics card doesn't have 2.1, so I can't really take advantage. So PS5, I'm gonna be able to take advantage of that shit. Oh man, I can't fucking wait.
Gonna be nuts.
What
man.
is Dirt 5 running at? I don't know. I played Dirt 5 on PC. That game is very well optimized for PC. No matter what I did to it, that shit was running at 120 frames a second. But I can only see that on my monitor here. I wouldn't be able to see it on my TV yet because of the HDMI and stuff. You know.
Yeah, and I'm considering buying that game on the Xbox just so I can test it out.
Yeah.
I'm not particularly interested in that game. Neither am I.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I reviewed it.
Carlos,
It's all right.
Real quick, since you're talking about the Xbox, is the interface? I mean, they said it's the same. Is it?
It's the same. It is exact same. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same shit.
It's snappier. It loads up quicker.
Yeah. Brian, Fidelity
wait,
or
last part.
Damn it.
Only because we're just to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Did you plug your external drive into it?
No, I ordered one and it's on the way.
Oh, you didn't have one. All right, there you go, Brian.
I mean, I have a USB drive. I'm pretty sure.
I thought you had an external for your games from your Xbox One X, and that if it is as seamless as they advertise, that you just plug it in, it'll see it, and then you can just play your games with no issues.
I haven't tried that yet. No.
Okay.
That's something that I should do actually before tomorrow. So I ordered a USB SSD drive that should get here soon. But yeah, everything else in terms of the interface is pretty much the same as the One X and the One S.
Now, Brian, you play PC. You don't have to worry about compromising, do you?
Nope.
There you go.
But I would go with performance. I mean, the main thing is motion blur. Like when you play at 30 frames, you get the motion blur, and to me that ruins the whole point of making it look good in the first place. Because you can make it look good, but then when it's moving, then the whole thing just looks like a smear. So hence, why am I having to play something that looks like a smear at such bad frame rates when I can just say okay, how about making it not look as great, but then I don't have to deal with the smear stuff, because at 60 frames plus, you don't really tend to have or need motion flow because your eyes will naturally do that. So it's kind of one of those weird things. So yeah, maybe you can make it 8K, make it all the ray tracing stuff, ray tracing plus 10, whatever you want to call it. I really don't care. Like, I care about how the game plays, because if I'm going to sit there and play a game for 8 hours, I want to sit there and play a game for 8 hours. If I want to watch a film, I'll go watch Endgame or Return of the King. I'll sit there and be treated like a visual feast. That's my stance.
Right. Interesting. The PC guy actually doesn't care about the graphics as much as the other guys do. I was almost there, Brian. If it was 2 weeks ago, I would have been like performance mode all day. But this TV has changed my life, man.
You'll come around to it again, Tony.
Yeah. And what I did was actually, because my graphics card can't hang with my TV, right? So I did lower the resolution down to 1080p, and the frame rate was fucking smooth as fuck. But I'm like, this game doesn't look as good anymore. Then I bumped it to 4K, dropped the frame rate down to 30. I'm like, I'll just settle because that looks fucking nice. Although I should say, what happened?
Compromises.
This on PC. I got to compromise. Ain't that about a bitch? But I won't be compromising come next year when those fucking 3080s are available again. Then I'm gonna go in. But Brian, I should say, I can't say too much. But when I go indoors, the frame rate suddenly goes up. Because it doesn't have to render all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. All right, let's get to the next question. This is from Fergus Mills. All right. PS5 games can't be stored on an external HDD, and there are no ways to add SSD space right now. This is making me buy 2 PlayStation 5 games on it for the year, and I'll use the rest of the space for PS4 games that get a boost. Unfortunately, unlimited data download is not a thing everywhere. What effect do you think these space limitations will have on you?
A lot.
On you personally, Adam?
Yeah, on me personally, because whenever I do a lot of these reviews, these game reviews, they send codes. They don't send physicals.
Yeah.
They send codes.
It's all codes.
Yeah,
the thing is, even if they send physical, you still got to download the whole thing.
Yeah, even if you go physical, you still got to install shit.
So it's
not really changing anything. But yeah, that's a pain in the ass. And the fact that you can't store it, I'm hoping they turn that on later on as an option, at least to store, because even it's like I have a 6 terabyte when it comes to my data cap for downloading, but still, I don't want to have to re-download every time. It'd be great if like, oh, I'm not playing it anymore for now, and I can dump this off on my external, and then when I do feel like playing it, I'll pull it back. I'm willing to do that. I don't want to have to re-download everything constantly. That's a pain in the ass. So I think they did mention that was a feature, but it's not at launch. So hopefully it does eventually show up that we could at least store it.
Yeah. You know what? I'll go next. I'll just fucking deal with it. Here's the thing. I don't really have that many games I play at one time anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just do what I did with the PlayStation 4 Pro or Pro. Yeah, not the Pro because I had plenty of space for that. With the regular PlayStation, when I reach my limit, just start deleting games because I don't go back to play games either. Once I'm done, I'm done. You know? I just have to be more mindful. Like, Tony, just delete your shit. So not really gonna affect me too much, you know.
It's not true because we jump in and we play it. We played the Division 2 and you were done, and then you're playing with
that one's on an external, by the way, you know.
And you play. See, that's what I'm saying. That runs on external.
Yeah, but you know, I'll just have to deal with it. I have unlimited downloads anyway, or at least that's what you know my company says. So I'm not really worried about re-downloading shit. But I don't go ham like that anyway, you know. So it'll be a little bit of a hindrance, but again, I only use external right now just for multiplayer games. I barely play those as is, you know? So it won't affect me too much. It'll just be a minor hindrance. What about you, Brett? Will it affect you? Mr. Murdoch, he's probably muted. There he is.
I'm sorry. I zoned out for a minute. I was ordering a pizza, I'll be honest. What was the question?
The question was, will the fact that you can't like store games on like an external SSD affect you?
Not really, because I'm not looking to spend a whole bunch more money right now after getting both consoles, so I probably wouldn't invest right away anyway. If it's not available in a few months, I'll be upset.
Yeah. Carlos with the Xbox.
A little bit. I mean, I don't like deleting games, especially if I know that I'm going back to it, because it's just a pain to re-download everything. Sometimes it takes a while. So yeah, it's a little bit, not as much as Adam, because Adam, you know, has to review games, and he actually, every time we talk about what games we've been playing, Adam is usually the one that has like a fucking plethora of games that he's been playing.
I got an unhealthy amount of that shit, and then to know that I have to uninstall and reinstall, that'll stress me out even more. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different for me, but it's still a pain, to be honest. But I guess something that I will deal with, and like I mentioned earlier, I am going to buy an external SSD drive, USB-C one, so it's going to be pretty decent performance.
Well, how big is that one?
1 terabyte.
1 terabyte.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll get me through for the next few years. We'll see.
Cool. Manny. You're muted.
Yo, man.
Yeah, I said you're muted, bro.
I pressed the button.
There we go.
Hey.
So would I be uninstalling these things? Or what was the question again? I'm sorry.
It's like how
you
would
already got to pay attention, man.
Well, you know, I got like 1,000 other things I'm doing at this point in time. So, yes. What was it?
Carlos, you could tell him the question. I already did it one time already.
How will you know, the capacity of the SSDs, the small capacity, affect the way you play your games and stuff like that?
I mean, to be honest, like at least this generation, I mean, it's been pretty. You didn't get a lot of space this generation either.
Yeah,
so yeah, granted, the games are probably going to get bigger. I mean, it just means I'm just going to probably uninstall a bunch of shit. You know,
because you're still playing on the regular PS4, right? Which is
I'm on the OG PS4. I don't even have a terabyte running that thing. You know, I do have Tony had given me one of the SSDs that he had gotten from I think
Seagate.
he had to review, a Seagate that he had to review or something like that a while ago. So I have that as a backup, but that's only about as much as a PlayStation 5 too. It's not really, you know, it's like double. So, and that thing's almost full too. So I'm probably just gonna, you know, me, I don't play a lot of games back to back, or I don't own a lot of games. So I just will probably just delete the ones that I don't really, you know, that I've done and I don't feel like I'm going back to, and keep around the ones that keep the ones installed that I would think I would go back to. That's pretty much what I do now. So like Ghost of Tsushima is still installed, but Spider-Man PS4 is not. because I know I'm not going to go back to that because I've already done all the things and I don't care about the DLC. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just kind of case by case basis, like they say like Bethesda games are.
Chris.
Well, I agree with that. I would just be more mindful of what I'm playing and what I'm interested in playing. Like, so if I was, I don't play Call of Duty, but if I was to get Black Ops Cold War, right? That's what I'm playing. That's what's on the drive, and that's it. I'm not gonna do like I have now PS4. I have like 50 things installed, and I don't touch most of them. I could probably delete them. So I'm not worried about download space, and besides, I only focus on one or two things at a time at most. So I don't see it being a problem, unless like 4 years, 5 years down the road, we're talking Bethesda releases Starfield and it's like bigger than the freaking hard drive. Then then I'd be annoyed. Then I'm sure we'll have a different conversation about what the fuck is going on here. But other than that, it's not really a big deal. I don't have to worry about data caps with my fiber plan, so that's not really a big deal to me. It sucks, like Adam said, like you can't just copy it to external and save it for later, so you don't have to re-download it. But it's not really a big deal. I don't revisit too much stuff that often. If I have to download it, I download it. Like Division 2, I downloaded that shit like 3 times. It's annoying, but it's not a big deal.
Yeah. All right. And Brian, you play on PC, so it's not a concern for you, is it?
That actually factors into my answer. Because it's not my daily driver, Ipswich to call that. Like, it's not my main place to play. So having that much space is not too much of a big deal. But at the same time, it's kind of sucks. Because again, I like just putting on all the stuff that I want to play, so that at any second I just say, "Cool, let's play that," and then go it on and play. Like on PC, like right now, I have like so many games installed. I have Division 2, I think AC Unity installed on Steam. Just had it up. I turned it down. Give me a second. I vamp. There we go. I have Bionic Commando Rearmed, not the weird one. Resident Evil Revelations, Stanley Parable, Divinity, Elite Dangerous, Black Desert Online, and Doom. All installed, all ready to go at a moment's notice, because those are the games that I wanted to play from last week. So having that ability to just say, okay, cool, I'll preload the games I want to play the night before, and then the day after, I'll just pick and choose. It's great. So having to say to myself now on PS5, okay, I can maybe pick possibly 4 or 5 maximum, and then go off and play them. It's kind of weird. So it's kind of a factor, but it's a non-factor at the same time.
Interesting. All right, man. Let's move on to the next question here. This is from John R. Christ. This is actually a leftover question that I'm tossing in, man, but it's still relevant. All right, he goes, a common defense for platforms like Stadia lacking ray tracing, or the Digital Foundry discussion concerning Spider-Man on the PS5 only being able to include ray tracing at 4K 30, is that ray tracing is a gimmick and unnecessary. Back in the Quake days, people said the same thing about dynamic shadows. What's your take on the importance of ray tracing as a graphics feature now and moving forward into the future? Good question. Let the tech guys take over this one. Carlos, why don't you start us off, man, since you have a console that has ray tracing on it?
I mean, it's big. It's one of the next big features that next gen's gonna have. That's gonna sort of prove its worth to get into the next generation. I mean, one of the biggest things, and going back to a video that came out for Digital Foundry a couple of months ago, is the whole Halo Infinite fiasco, the crit gate.
Yeah,
they're talking about why does this game not look as good, and the main thing that at least they contributed to it is that they didn't have the ray tracing that 343 said it would have, or at least that they'll have in the future. That is something that led to the game not looking as great. And looking at the videos for Miles Morales, and it's like, yeah, this is something that looks like something that's not even close to being obtainable this generation. So yeah, man, it's a huge step forward to sort of fidelity and graphics for the gaming.
All right.
It's gonna be something that's gonna sell all these consoles.
See, ray tracing, that's another one of those things Carlos haven't experienced yet, man. So it may be another revelation that your boy's about to have,
Oh yeah,
So that's going to be crazy. So I
we'll
don't
talk
have an
about that.
opinion. Yeah, I don't have an opinion on that at the moment. So we'll see. Brian, ray tracing.
Ray tracing is what people have been talking about for quite some time.
Which is?
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, basically, it's just been the holy grail of light. This is why I wanted Brett to answer, but he's vanished from the screen.
I'll
think
call
pizza?
on him.
He's
Alright.
getting some pizza.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that people have been talking about for years because, again, it was so hard to do because it's so CPU intensive and like deal with all the rays and tracking them and how much it costs. So that's why you've not seen it beforehand. It's just not been feasible at real time. But now it is feasible at real time. Although it's locked to 30 frames per second, which I think is quite funny. It's like, oh, look at that. All console games are 30 frames per second. Well done. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, I think it's great. Again, it shows that we are moving on tech-wise. Games are evolving. But if this is all this gen of consoles has, is just, hey, we now have more games that play the same, but now have ray tracing. It's like, okay, so what about everything else that people have been asking about? What about like destructible environments? Like we still haven't got games that can utilize that to its best. Like the best thing we've seen, people would say has been Bad Company 2 in terms of destructible environments. That's been like the pinnacle. Like no game, as far as I know, has been up to that standard yet. And that game was like on the PS3, So what the hell's been going on? Where's better AI yet? AI in games is still a bit ridiculous. I mean, there's so many things wrong with it. Well, not things wrong with it, but things that don't seem to make that much sense with AI in games. So where's the advancement of that? Again, people will say that the best AI in games that they've seen has been around the Fear/Rage days, which was again PS3 days. So I'm kind of on the side of ray tracing is great. Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. You can't take that away from it. But if that's all this gen of games has to offer is just, hey, the same games but shiny, like literally more shiny, then come on, like why? Seems rather a bit weird to me. It's like, why am I paying more money for the same shiny games? Or sorry, for more of the same games but shiny. And Tony and Brett and I had a discussion as to what we mean by shiny. It's just literally, it's more shiny. There's more light on there, and that's it. It's like, so yeah, I'm just kind of like a yay. Ray tracing is there now. We're at a point where we can do it. This is great. It's fantastic. But at the same time, if this is all that is being offered, then I still find it a bit lackluster, if you wish.
All right.
But
go ahead.
but isn't that the whole thing about it? Like, didn't you also say that it was like essentially it'll just be the same old shit again? Just the fidelity's a little bit is a little, the fidelity was a little bit better, or it has another thing. But then again, now we're gonna have to wait till the next generation for these games to run at the things that they could claim, right?
Yeah, that too. Like I was seeing like quite a lot of people saying, "Oh, next gen has like confirmed like 4K games running at 60 frames per second." And I was like, "Yeah, that's not going to happen. It's going to output at 4K, but I'm guessing it's going to be like 1440p rendered with the what's it called again? Not DLSS.
Dynamic resolution.
Yeah, no, the Sony one. Checkerboarding.
Oh, checkerboard.
Yeah, it's going to be like 4040p checkerboarded to 4K and running at 60 frames. It's like that's not really 4K 60 frames. That's just up-resed game at 60 frames. And even then, it's going to be like with Miles. It's going to be without ray tracing. So it's going to be like none of the fancy stuff. So I don't know. It just I'm not disappointed. I'm just in the sense of, okay, it's early days. This is expected. Like usually the early day stuff is very not mediocre, but very okay. I'm still in to see like, okay, what can people really do with this tech? Like, I want to see people shine with this tech. I want to see what CD Projekt Red does next, which is coming out probably like 2030. since I've said it now, it's going to be like delayed 6 times.
You know?
You know, I want to see what talented developers can do with the tech now. So I'm kind of like, give it 2 years. If the games are still the same but shiny, then yeah, this gen's a wash. Next gen's a wash like it was this gen to me.
All right, Brett, ray tracing.
There we go.
Yeah.
I haven't actually. My PC is not new, and so this is kind of technology that I still haven't played around with a whole lot. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, if because I'm kind of a casual gamer when it comes to PC. So yeah, I haven't really gotten a chance to play around with it all that much. So I'm kind of excited, but cautiously optimistic. I know the games are going to be shinier. If they're a lot shinier, cool, nice, whatever. Good lighting effects, things like that. We're taking steps forward. Where it might not be a big deal. I've really yet to discern, but I know the specs are much nicer on paper, and they're pretty much considered current gen specs. I think they're technically 1 year behind current cards and CPUs. So, I mean, I get the strength and the beefiness of a console in the console. That's as close as you're going to get. Considering these, new graphics cards cost more than the price of the console just by themselves. So, honestly, I'm just happy of where price meets performance on the console. So, yeah, ray tracing, cool. If you choose to do something else with that power, also cool. I can't make a determination yet.
All right.
I'll definitely let you know once I start playing the games.
All right, Chris, ray tracing. What do you say, man?
Well, I mean, I don't have the personal experience, but I will say that being the beginning driving force with this next generation, it is predictable for like Google to fend off criticism. They're going to say like, oh, it's not that big of a deal because they can't support it yet because you can't stream that. So I can understand where they're coming from. They can't do it. They can't provide the experience they want to over streaming with ray tracing. So they're going to say like, it's not that big of a deal, guys. But then, at the same time, when everyone else is experiencing it on Xbox or PS5, then people are going to be like, you know what? Stadia is not worth it. So that's going to be a problem for them going forward. I don't see how they're going to get around that without their own hardware, which that's a moot point. They don't have the hardware. They don't have a console. So, with that being said, like, it would have been nice if we finally got the 4K 60 true experience, but wait, I guess we'll wait for either the pro versions of each of
Right.
each system, or wait for PS6 and the Xbox whatever X, whatever the next damn thing is called. If there's even a next console, if Xbox hasn't just moved on to PC and say screw this, and wait for Nvidia and AMD to provide that stuff for them.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else ray tracing? All right. That's it. Move on because we still got a lot of questions.
It's cool.
Yeah, I don't have any experience with this. I can't say. I'll give you an update when I do check it out.
Well, I mean, there's some games that have had versions of ray tracing. Last of Us had a light version of like a voxel ray tracing. Some games like the Far Cry game, they actually added a version of ray tracing. So it does exist, but this was more of a substantial version of it, which means that actual reflections actually reflect things as opposed to it just being sort of a fake reflection, stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, man, let's move on. Next question from Black Metal Gamer. Now, his first question we've actually answered before. He was just wondering if Microsoft should retire Halo, and we kind of said, like, maybe they should give it a little bit of a hiatus, bring it back strong, So we've answered that before. So his next question is, I got a little something to say about this afterwards. If both consoles were postponed until 2021, would it hurt Sony and Microsoft's financials? Because I feel they probably should have launched around March 2021. All right, first of all, and Chris, you get financial. This is your wheelhouse. Microsoft would not be negatively impacted because it's fucking Microsoft. Sony, that'd be a different story. Chris, go ahead, man. This is a hypothetical, obviously, because look what's literally right in front of us right now. It's a fucking Xbox. These consoles are not going to get delayed, and the reason I bring this up is one of my friends was telling me that she was checking out Reddit and dudes were like, "Oh my god, they're delaying the console until next year," and everybody believed it. Like what the fuck? Like, these consoles are being shipped already. Why are you believing this nonsense?
People believe everything they read. This shit.
Like one guy went in there into the thread going like, "Yo, they're delaying the console until next year." And then everybody said, "Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!"
No, that's ridiculous.
Fucking dumbasses. Anyway, go ahead, man.
Thank you.
That's why you can't scream fire in a theater.
Yeah. Shout out to Brett's dog.
Yeah. So with that, it would be ridiculous for them to even attempt to pull the brakes on everything right now because, like Tony said, consoles already going out. Hell, you can see it.
What's
if you have
that?
video, you can
What's
see it's on right next to the Vapor Rub is a Series X, right? So it's out. It's out in the wild. You can't pull it back. Microsoft's not going to send out FBI agents to go reclaim them or something. That shit is done. And now with that being said, and we've talked about this before, but Microsoft with Xbox is a small part of Microsoft's ecosystem, and where they make their most of their revenue is Azure and enterprise services. And we've said this many times. And support for Windows, support for Office. They have a ton of products, and Xbox is only one of many things that they have. So if you take this hypothetical in the past, if we were to take a time machine and go back to, I don't know, pre-COVID or whatever, and they said, we're going to push the consoles a year, then they'd have time maybe to prepare something, but I don't know. That may even be too short of a time because they have titles that they planned out for the new systems. And even though Microsoft said, "Oh, we're going to support the One X into, I don't know, 3 years," I forgot what they said, but they would have already started making experiences specifically for the Series S and Series X, and the same thing with the PlayStation 5. And especially Sony didn't say that. But Jim Ryan's whole thing was like, "Oh, we're looking forward, we're not looking backwards." Okay, that tells me that you're already working on titles that it's not going to even work on PS4. Like, forget about that. So they're already looking ahead. So if they delayed it, what do they have? Like, Sony would have had a dry year, and they would have gotten hit harder. So Sony's financials looks very different from Microsoft's. PlayStation is their biggest moneymaker. And then after that is like Sony Pictures, their electronics, like it goes in order. But the biggest chunk of their revenue as of I did the last report was PlayStation. So if they have a dry year, their revenue collapses, and there's not really another pillar maybe besides Sony Pictures. But if they have a bad year, which they are, because no movies are coming out, then you have a problem. They have a bigger problem, and so the landscape is, for Microsoft, that wouldn't have been a big deal. They could have held out. They could have coasted the year and take the hit. And this is a big hypothetical because you'd have to do that in the past. You couldn't do that now. Pulling the brakes now would be ridiculous. That's impossible. Sony, on the other hand, would have had a really rough time justifying that, and then their revenue would have collapsed for the next year. I mean, they wouldn't not sell PS4 because people would be waiting for PS5. And then they had what titles? I mean, Miles Morales for PS4, and then what do they have for the spring? Going into next year until the console launches, I doubt they had anything. Demon's Souls not going to be for PS4. A lot of games weren't going to be for PS4. And to change direction and go, "Oh, we need a PS4 version of these titles," you go tell developers that and go, "Okay, we'll have that for you by 2023 when you start working on it." Like, you can't do it. You can't do it. So, yeah, that's what the landscape would look like. And well, fortunately, that's not happening.
Yeah, literally, I have the Xbox right up there. It's out there already. People are fucking dumb. Not Black Metal Gamer. He was just asking us the hypothetical, like how it would affect them. But I just have to chime in on these morons saying this shit. It's like, what is wrong with you people, man?
That's what they do.
That's what they do, man. That's what they do. All right, man. Let us move on to the next question from Mr. Tennessee Sooner. Needs a little help from us, people. Needs a little help from Throwdown, man. Okay, what are the best gaming monitors or TVs that you guys suggest for next-gen consoles? Let's help this man out, man. Well, Carlos, you know what our answer is going to be.
Yeah, man.
Go get that.
LGCX.
LGCX OLED TV, baby.
Yo, man. Has got 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. Some of them don't even have more than one.
Yeah, this has 4 of them, you know?
All 4 have it. It's got WebOS, which is pretty cool. And it's kind of funny when you put it together and say it in Spanish.
Yeah, right.
Huevos. It's got a lot of. It doesn't have a Spectrum app though. That's what kind of that's where I watch TV. But yeah, it's a pretty good TV, man. It's probably the best deal you can get. It's on Amazon right currently, deducted price. I think it's $1,300 for the 55-inch and $1,800 for the 65.
Yeah.
So, by the way, it's also that at Costco. If you want to go just buy it, I saw it there.
Yo, Chris, what's up? Man? You getting it, man?
Huh? I'm probably gonna get the 65-inch just because I have old eyes.
My man, you still getting that CX though, man. Join the family.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Oh yeah. That's happening. It's at Costco and they got the deals. But I was thinking I'll wait 2 weeks for Black Friday and see what happens.
Yeah, man.
Maybe drop some more.
That's
Tony,
true.
You said family wrong. Say it right.
Oh, family. There you go. My bad. I had to say it right. Oh man. So that's
I was gonna say, as far as monitors, I don't know if they're gonna be. I don't think the PlayStation 5 can do anything other than I don't think it can do ultra wide. Because I was gonna say
yo, I'm sorry, because Chris is talking about, I might get this TV soon. His wife shows up like, I didn't know about this.
I'm in trouble now.
We need a new stroller for the baby. At Costco. What the hell? You son of a bitch. Mama was right about you.
She goes.
He's like,
she has a little monocle emoji and shit. Chris, you're in trouble after this. She's like, TV worked just fine.
No, he was going to be a surprise. It's going to be like, hey, a Merry Christmas.
I bought this for the baby. The young eyes, they need 65 inches of OLED goodness.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy. My bad, Carlos. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, so I don't know. It depends on what kind of next gen gaming you're trying to do. If you're getting a PC and you're getting the 3080 or the new AMD cards, I would say in 1440 ultra wide monitor, over 100 frames. I think there's 144 hertz models too for those. I would go for that. I think that's the best thing you can do in terms of getting higher resolution as compared to 1080p, and also the frame rate, and also ultra wide is just life changing for me, and I think for Brian as well. I think you would piggyback on that.
Yo, Carlos, I don't want to read this on air, but read what Fergus just said. You're gonna crack up because you know exactly what he's talking about.
I can only imagine how much. Well, that is true.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to Frankie B. If it wasn't for him and Carlos wouldn't know about that fucking TV. So shout out to him. Yo,
yeah, he sent me a tweet. He's like, "You're welcome," after I posted the thing. But yeah, he was one of the main inspirations for it.
Yeah, man. As a matter of fact, LG should be sending him TVs, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be pimping that shit up and everybody buying the shit.
Mm-hmm.
We should be sponsors, man. Just saying.
Should have been a long time ago.
It should have been, All right, what about the rest of you guys? Monitors, next gen. Actually, hey, Brett, what's the TV you're rocking, man? That's next gen ready too.
Yeah, I'm rocking the Samsung Q70 series.
Ooh, fancy HDMI 2.0 and all that other good stuff, right?
It's got one HDMI 2.0 port, but the rest of the 2.1 port, but the rest of them have 2.0 features. They run 2.0 with features like let's see. Motion, the motion flow. God damn it. I should be looking this up. Variable refresh rate. That was one of the things. It has a variable refresh rate, 4K, 120 hertz. So yeah, it's a good system. It's technically a mid-range TV, even though it's a little pricey for. I mean, high range TVs are just fucking expensive. So I got like a 75 inch for about 1,400.
Damn.
So I'm pretty set.
Good stuff. Brian, what about monitors? What do you recommend?
Oh, there's always stuff just being fired out every like 2-3 months. General rule of thumb is just look at what Digital Foundry are using and go with them. They have good eyes, so you can't go wrong with whatever they choose. But I'm seeing a lot of love for two ones. What is it? The Asus ROG Swift, the PG7UQ, so that's Umbrella Quebec, or the LG Golf 950. They tend to be pretty good by the sound of it. So again, if you're going 4K, they're good shouts. Ultra wides also good shouts, but as Carla said, consoles don't support ultra wide, and also the PS5 does not support 1440p. It supports 4K and 1080p, but not 1440p.
Yeah,
whereas
which
Xbox
is weird.
does, which is very odd. So yeah, yeah, you can't really go wrong with that. And ultra wide is just so nice. Ultra wide is just so much space. Like you don't really know what you're missing until you see something ultra wide, and then it's like, huh, like, there's space there that I never noticed that I needed. And then once you go back, you're like, I'm missing stuff. Like, where is it? Keep searching for it, but it's just not there. Yeah. Once you go ultra wide, then that's great. Apparently there's ultra wide, where it's like somehow even longer. Yeah, so it's crazy.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Oh, and also, it tends to be, and games on ultra wides, yeah, they tend to be supported, but only by good devs.
CD Projekt Red.
The guys that did Genshin Impact, well, pretty much every single developer apart from Bethesda.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. All right, what about the rest of you guys? Any recommendations for TVs? Nah, he didn't care. Anyway, any other suggestions you have for the man? I think we give him some good stuff.
A good CRT 32.
Yeah, you know.
Nice curved round bowl in the front.
A big fat back, you know.
Yeah.
Antennas and all that shit, man. Let's
Give
go.
it some style.
Click, change the channels. You know. All right, man. So we'll move on to the next question from Mr. Tennessee Sooner. All right. Since the games coming out now are just prettier last-gen games, when do you think the first games to test the full strength of next-gen consoles will start coming out? 2022. That's what I think.
Yep. When the new what you call it, the Epic, the engine, the new engine is coming.
Oh, Unreal Engine.
New Unreal Engine. Yeah, when that comes, that's when we know.
Yeah, Unreal Engine.
A couple years in.
Yeah, they already said that Hellblade is gonna be the first game, but who knows when that game's coming out? You know. But yeah, my answer is based off of what happened. This generation took 2 years for things to get rolling. This generation started 2013, and it really got going in 2015. That's when we started seeing games that were only on current gen consoles, specifically like Batman and The Witcher were the two first big ones, and Bloodborne obviously was the other one. You know, so yeah, 2022 is when we're gonna stop seeing cross gen games. There'll still be some here and there. Sports games are probably gonna be cross gen until the end of the generation. But in general, that's when 2022, 2023 at the latest. You know. I think we're all in consensus about that. Like we all pretty much agree on that one. So because we've had this discussion before, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to the contest, man. Let's give away some free stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Manny. What are we giving away again, man?
We are giving away this very large Death Stranding poster. which you can
Yes.
see here, those of you in the room.
This is
We
for
are
everybody
also-
that's hanging out in the chat with us right now at this moment.
Yes, every single person in the chat has been added into the wheel of gifts.
Yes.
And also, you're going to be getting this Die Hard Man piece that you see here, as well as the Solid Zero art book, as well as the Solid Zero digital. I still have some Death Stranding posters from last year. Just so happens that today is the release of Death Stranding, and I figured it'd be a good moment to give some stuff.
Yeah, and 1 year anniversary.
Yep. All right. So let me just put my mask on.
Yay.
Let's roll.
Wheel of morality, man.
All right. Let's spin that shit.
Let's spin it in. Let us spin it. Who won all that cool stuff Manny just showed? Let's do this music.
Let's do this music. All right. So let's do this music. Make sure you contact us at Throwdown Show on Twitter, and we'll get you get your address and get this sent out as soon as.
And remember, you have 24 hours, bro. You don't need 24 hours. We're re-rolling. You know.
Yep.
That's it. Is this guy still in the chat, man? Let me check. Yeah. Thank you, man. You already know. He says we're very generous. We tried, man.
Oh, great.
We tried. Yeah, let's do. Yeah, he's still in the room.
Awesome. So
let's do this music. Hit us up right now, man. Let me put the ad in here just to make it easier. That's on. There know these nuts. You're crazy, man. Oh, I can't. Why can't I put our ad in there? There we go. Yeah, it's literally the name of the fucking show. So hit us up now.
There you go.
And we'll get you all, and we'll send you all that stuff wherever you may live. Good stuff. All right, and with that, we'll move on to the next question. These are from Mr. Lego Bro. The first one is, will Microsoft ever put out a all-digital Xbox Series X console to compete with Sony's cheaper all-digital console? No, I don't think so. They already got the other one, you know?
If they kill it off later on, not that right away, but I could see it because they pulled it off before, so I could see them doing it.
I don't. You know what? I'll take that back. Maybe it'll be like the XX version. Maybe You know what? I'm gonna say soft maybe, not a hard maybe. A soft maybe. Yeah. I still kind of doubt it.
When they're moving on to something else, when they're moving on to the new X13, whatever bullshit, and then they're like, "Oh, you still like your X? Don't worry, and we got this discless one."
Yeah. What about the rest of you guys? What do you say? Don't care.
An all digital X.
Okay. Like an all digital Series X.
Yeah, I don't see that. I mean, they already have their cheaper version, so
yeah, that's my main thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they need to emulate what Sony's doing. They already got their economic version.
Yeah.
So.
The only caveat is like because all digital Series X would be powerful. You know, it wouldn't be GIMP like the S. That would be the only caveat. But I mean, there may be a way. I mean, there may be a possibility, but it's hard for me to see it. You know,
we pretty much all agree. We think they're going to do another one mid-season.
Oh yeah, Sony's going to do it too.
And that would be the mid-season. There you go. It'd be like, oh, guess what? We got a discless Series X, and it's not the gift one. Do you want it? It'll probably be the same price, just maybe more space.
It depends on how well people have taken it to digital, though. You know. Mm-hmm. All right. What about the rest of you guys?
No.
No? All right.
I can see them, again, as Adam said, during like the mid-gen refresh, they bring out like effectively the mid-gen refresh of the S is a diskless X.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
maybe
that's why I say all digital, because it sounds like dickless, you know?
I know. I was being very careful there.
Yeah, just say all digital. Just say all digital, man. That's all.
Just emphasize the S.
Yeah.
S.
Don't bother all digital. Save yourself the hassle.
Yeah. The all digital refresh will be the X. All digital. That's, I think, makes sense. And then have like some sort of X plus or something.
X plus. Oh my god. All those symbols and shit. Because think about it, what's an X? It's just a plus just on its side. Man, Microsoft. All right, move on. Next question. How soon will most people regret their next gen console purchase?
Oh.
Man.
2 hours after connecting and realizing
Buyer's remorse.
Buyer's remorse, right?
always happens.
I think only people who bought an Xbox One X in a rush thinking it was a Series X. That'll be regret.
You know.
Shit, those
Yeah,
people
I
that
think
got-
people who buy the Xbox Series X will have buyer's remorse in about 2 years. They'll be like, fuck, all these games suck on it. Oh, people in the chat are saying the same thing now. If they get an S, they'll feel it. Yup. Yeah, that GIMP shit, yeah, you're going to feel it, you know. But no, I don't think you know, if you buy an X or a PS5, I don't think you're going to feel it, really, you know. Well, Xbox guys are going to feel it anyway because, you know, they're hardcore, you know. Even though they're playing nothing but fucking backward compatible games, they're like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself every night.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn.
You know? Yeah, what about you, Carlos? Do you regret your console purchase?
It's too early in the game, man.
Oh,
Too
man.
early in the game.
Fucking refrigerator, man. Got some Presidentes in there, man. Some Coronas. Let's go. You already know, you and I live that Corona life.
They're gonna definitely make a fridge. They can make a little desktop fridge just with the design.
Yeah.
I'll definitely get one and put that in the corner over there.
Oh, check it out. Upper Room AK says he got an S for his 6-year-old and a PS5 for himself. There you go.
That makes sense.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. The kid ain't gonna regret that shit. You know.
It's all gonna look good to him.
But yeah, and I don't think there's gonna be big buyer's remorse. If the games are good, people are gonna be all right. You know.
Yeah, he'll just be like, man, he'll be like, why can't I play Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah. Think about it like this, right? When I bought the PS4, right, there was nothing to play on it for a while until, like in between Black Flag and Infamous Second Son, nothing to play. I didn't regret it. I'm like, hey, you just gotta wait.
We can rest assured this generation you have bug snacks.
Yes. What about Bug Snacks though? Yeah,
Yo, man, that's a launch title, son.
Yes, it is, man. Hottest game ever. You know. Bug Snacks Day. When you guys are crazy in the chat, man. All right, let's move on. That was an easy one to answer. All right.
They're just giving you that one for free.
Pretty much. All right. Upper Room AK. Speaking about Upper Room AK, it goes, are there increased download speeds from the network on the Series X? Carlos, this is a question for you, man.
I don't remember what it's because I think you're asking the wrong person because I recently.
You have an X. I said faster. I said download faster.
Well,
It's not going to do that. That's not how it works.
Okay, he explained this to me like I'm an idiot then. I'm like, he has an Xbox. He could compare it to see if his old one.
I just upgraded my internet like a week ago. So it's like.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's obviously going to be way faster. So yeah, it's not. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't done comparisons between the regular X or the S and the series, so I have no clue.
You haven't done.
I mean, I don't.
on it yet, man. All the tests.
What I can say is, my download speeds are 400 megs up or down, and I've been downloading games consistently like around 180, 190 megabits on the Series X, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much all I can say.
The hell's that fucking shit?
Somebody
Kishak,
frying something?
Let me get that food, man. Kishak says, "What a way to ruin the question." How did we ruin the question, bro? I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Does it have to increase? I mean, does it have?
Yeah, I don't think we have enough. We don't have enough information to really answer this question.
We don't have enough information.
Yeah,
for
you
that
need a control to do that. But
Yeah.
what
All
he
right,
is
so-
saying,
What's
what
up?
he is saying is he was running 400 through his Xbox, which is higher than any of the consoles right now.
Oh no,
that we know of.
200 around 200, 180, 190. 400 is my download speed on the my ISP.
Okay, so you know you have a download speed of 400, but you're only getting 200 on the.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's capped at around 200, which is not that much different than current consoles.
Yeah, I mean,
This is all just wild speculation based off of one person's anecdotal experience.
Hmm.
But if you want an actual fucking answer, it sounds like it has a cap on it still.
There is a cap, and I'm looking on now, and it still has a cap from 50 to 100, depending on the location of where you're at and wherever they're feeding the games, the backend for the servers. But yeah, they cap it. They all cap it. Sony does the same thing. There's a cap. So it doesn't matter. You could have, like, I have 1 terabyte and I'm not getting that type of speed.
Yeah, I was about, yeah. So
I mean,
Kishak,
the
there you
nigga
go,
that
man.
have
It doesn't
I'm
matter
not
if he
getting
upgraded his internet. Like, there's still caps in it, you know?
There's still caps.
It all
and
really
that'll-
depends on the network, right?
Yeah, and then it'll fluctuate. So, like, let's say if there's a certain game that's coming out that night and they know everyone's downloading it, then they're definitely going to throttle that because they want to make sure everybody gets it. They're not going to let some people go in at a full 100 megabits per second and then other people go at 20. They're going to try to keep that balance so everybody's on the same page. So,
Yeah.
yeah, believe me, if you Google it now, you'll see a bunch of people bitching like, "Oh, I get this, I get 50, I get 100, I get 75, I get." It's all over.
All right, so again,
Yeah,
we don't have enough. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, my guess is nothing much has changed because that has to do with the servers, not with the consoles themselves. The
Yeah,
consoles,
that's the back end. It's
don't-
all back end.
yeah, it's all back end stuff. So, that Azure servers or wherever the repository is for these games that people download, that it's pretty much the same. I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
It's servers and also the pipe in between you and those servers. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
factors besides, like, even if they could put the fastest card possible in network drivers in the Series X and the PS5, they're still throttling it, at their end.
I mean, that's the same thing that goes when you play multiplayer games. That way, if you're going too fast, you're not just spinning around on the map and people are like, "Yo, he just materialized on the left and on the right." It's like everything is being throttled, so then that way you have the same equal gaming experience.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Move on to the next question. Man, this is from also from Upper Room AK. Okay, does the argument for the value of Game Pass rest on the assumption that Microsoft first-party titles will actually be good? Part of it, partly. It's not the whole thing. Like, the main driver for Game Pass is like you have access to hundreds of games. Your entire backlog, essentially. That's the main selling point. But again, like I've said, the biggest
Day
problem,
one release, the first parties.
yeah, day one release. That's another one. That's another big one. But as I said, this generation, Microsoft has not had any big games on the level of like Sony and Nintendo's, where they're crowd pleasers. Like, when people start doing their top 20 games of the generation, you're not going to see any Xbox games on their first party games. Microsoft this generation has had good games. They haven't had great games. That's the problem. So Game Pass.
But-
let me finish. So people are like, okay, that's cool that you get all these games for $15 a month, but they're games I don't care about. This is why Microsoft buying Bethesda is a big fucking deal, because now you're gonna have first party games people actually really give a fuck about, and it's gonna drive sales for the Game Pass. Go ahead, Brett.
I was just gonna you hit it kind of there at the end, that it's not whether Microsoft will have good first party games, it's whether any of those 28 studios can produce a quality game.
Yes.
I mean, they're not necessarily a unified front. They're studios working under the Microsoft banner. So to believe that all of them would just crap out and not produce anything, it's hard to believe, especially with them, just buying Bethesda. So while you can't look and say like, oh, Microsoft produced these award-winning games, you can now say Microsoft owns these award-winning games. So do you trust the people who produced, the last Doom to make a new good Doom? I do. It's the same group of people. So yeah, it's not Microsoft. It's whether you need to not look at it as Microsoft. You need to look at it as this coalition of 28 studios plus Microsoft. Mostly their money.
There has to be at least one hit in that bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's Microsoft. They're just playing the odds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. Only takes one.
So we'll see. Yeah. So no, definitely a big boon for Game Pass. But as it stands right now, again, it is a good service. It's just doesn't have a lot of things to entice people. And the other thing is, third-party games don't come there day one. Not most of them. And third-party games are, let's just be real here. They're the ones that really sell shit at the end of the day.
It's true. Just think of it like a way better version of PS Plus. Like way,
it is
way
way better, because you could download your games and shit. You have a way access to way. Here's the thing, because people always compare PS Now to this. It's not the same thing. PS Now is purely streaming. You could actually download your games, and and should you lapse or whatever, you can still, in your payment, you can still keep the games. PS Plus don't allow you to do that shit. Xbox Game Pass is a good service, especially if you're like a Johnny come lately gamer. You don't play your games on day one. It's a good, you get if you haven't played any of these games, you get Game Pass now. You'll be like, oh shit, look at all these fucking games I could play.
Or if you're just busy, like you are a gamer, but you're busy, you got a lot of things. Maybe you have a new family and you got things going on, and it's like shit to go and spend $60 a pop for games you do want to play, but you're not going to be able to play day one. And you're like, I'll just get Game Pass, and most of these will just pop up on there. And large majority of the big ones have popped up on there.
Yeah,
we see a lot of
EA Plays on there now, Adam.
Yeah, now EA Play. There you go. Get the sport games and get all that type of stuff. So there's a lot of pluses to that.
Yeah, that's hold on. I'm segueing right now. No more. I'm not taking more because that's the perfect segue. Speaking about Plus and Game Pass, Microsoft, they teased an image of the Mandalorian. This is Xbox teasing, like, oh, there's a reason we're posting this image. So the speculation is that they're going to integrate Disney Plus into Game Pass. Now, would that make it even more enticing?
They have a big announcement and some big drops coming on launch day. We know some big games, and there you go. I saw that too. It was like, it could be something. Maybe that is another service. If they add that, you know how crazy that would be?
Yeah, man, it would be nuts. This is the way, man.
That would be it.
This is the way. That's going to be the whole marketing spiel.
That's it. Mandalorian goes on another planet. Everybody's playing Series X. What?
Imagine that shit. Yo, Mando, what are they playing behind you, man?
And then he can goof. He was like, "Damn, I haven't seen a retro console like that in generations." There you go.
Fucking Baby Yoda's playing on the X and shit.
Exactly. There you go.
He's playing it with his mind, though.
Unless they make a cheesy game, then that'll be whack.
Yeah, right. So again, can't even call it a rumor because like literally Xbox's main official Twitter posted that shit.
Yeah, they got some surprises, man. They said they wanted to have some surprises. Their surprises got busted before with the leaks, with all the shit. So this is it. This will be their chance. They said they got a bunch of surprises for launch. Get ready, and a lot of them are related to Game Pass. So we'll see. Yeah. By the way, that question was asked by Mr. Oog Funk. He just says, "What do we think of the Xbox Game Pass tweet with the Mandalorian means? Is it a timed exclusive? Is it a timed trial, 3 months, or something bigger? What do you think, Adam? You think it's something like a mini thing or something bigger?" I could see it as being something big, just because we know Microsoft got money for days. That's it. How deep are your pockets? That's really what it comes down to. How deep are your pockets? Maybe it could be something for like new subscribers, and you get it at a reduced price. Maybe they have a special rate that if you're using it on the Xbox and you sign up, you get a certain price. Or if they do a tie-in, that would be nuts. If they did something like that with Game Pass at the same rate, they can't start changing plans now. They spent all this time just unifying everything, and then to go and introduce another plan would be dumb. But that would be, if anything, at least for this season. If they pulled something off, like, hey, if you're playing it, maybe, who knows, maybe they can auto detect and see that you're playing on the Series X if it's tied. Like, remember when this was years ago, it was one of the iPhones came with YouTube. It was a YouTube album, and it was like, that's it. If you had that phone, poof, you got the album. The same happened with Avatar, the movie. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's just tied to this. If you get it, then once you connect online, it detects, and as a gift, you get a little notification. Boom, you get the Mandalorian or Disney Plus for a year or something like that. I don't know. We'll see, but it's definitely going to be something, Definitely going to be something. Definitely going to be something. I just find it funny that I literally bought like a year of Disney Plus because this TV got me back into watching TV again. So I'm like, let me check out the Mandalorian because I've always wanted to check it out. Show's fucking dope, But that's just funny. I'm like, because I have Game Pass already, right? So I'm like, fuck, and I already bought a year of Disney Plus. Oh well, it's fool me once or something,
Well, I mean, but the thing is, it's like, okay, so are they going to set it to Game Pass? I don't know.
No, we don't know yet, but that's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like. Or excuse me.
Or if it's that they give you a download of just the first season.
Could be that.
Yeah, you can watch the whole first season, and there's a download code. So once you go in and you get the Xbox notifications, they send those shits out all the time. Hey, here, put this code in or click this button and you can download it on your console. So maybe it could be something like that. We're giving everybody, every Xbox Game Pass subscriber, a free the free season.
Yo, look
1.
under your seat. You got the free Mandalorian, man. Remember that shit when Xbox did that to give away 360s and shit during, I think it was E3, wasn't it? Like, look under your seats.
And
I wish they did that when we were there.
Yeah, right. That would have been awesome. What's up, Chris?
is that the reason that Sony's gonna buy Crunchyroll for almost $1 billion? Is this why? To
Could
have
be.
content,
Yeah,
have streaming exclusives?
yeah. That's the other front, I guess. You know, the streaming wars. Interesting.
By the way, I'm like, yo, really, Crunchyroll $1 billion?
Come
Seriously?
on now. That's a little out there. I don't know how many people that use it like that. I mean, they go on Crunchyroll every once in a while for certain things, but do you guys use Crunchyroll like that, or is it like a daily app that you open up?
No, it's not a daily thing.
No,
not at all.
If I do watch Crunchyroll, I just watch the free one. I'll deal with the ads, but that's I haven't done that for fucking years. You know, they own Funimation. I don't know. Is that true?
I thought Amazon bought
No,
Funimation.
no, Sony doesn't own Funimation. I think that's why they're gonna buy Crunchyroll off of AT&T. AT&T owns it.
Crazy.
AT&T having some blowout sales, trying to get rid of Dish and all kinds of shit. That
They're trying to get rid of Dish Network.
Yeah. How is that for a comparison? It's like is that Sony's answer to Microsoft buying Bethesda? Oh, we're gonna buy Crunchyroll. You know, take that, Microsoft.
Womp
Womp womp. All right, bro. Let's move on. Next question. To make it again, man. This is one of the leftover questions that we're tossing in here. Remember, if you guys ask us bonus questions, we will use them eventually. You know, so don't be afraid to leave them. All right, especially if they're timely. I did have to get rid of a couple because they were not timely anymore, but this one's still timely. Do you have a game that you wish you could or could have dedicated your time to? For me, it was Gears multiplayer. I loved it and could hold my own, but never dedicated enough time to become a wall-bouncing gib machine. I don't know what a gib machine is. Adam, what's a gib machine? Is that Gears of War thing?
Wait, Gears machine with grinding? He wants to grind.
You said
out
gib
No,
machine.
isn't that when you chainsaw someone? Isn't that when you cut someone up? It's like
I never called
isn't that
it
what they
that.
call?
Oh, I don't know. Well,
I think that's a chainsaw kill.
Okay.
That's what
So yeah, is there a game that in the past that you would have wanted to dedicate more time to, but you just didn't have the time? I'm gonna say
he's
like
talking multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer. Yeah. I mean, it could be anything. I'm gonna say a lot of like modern fighting games. Like I wish I had the time to like get really good at like Dragon Ball Fighters or something. But I don't have that kind of time anymore. Not that one specifically, just a lot of fighting games. Samurai Showdown. That would have been cool to really dive into. I just played a couple hours, did a review. Street Fighter 5, they finally fixed it. It's actually really cool, but no time. I would love to dive into that. Can't
Persona
do that
5
though.
For me.
Yeah, well, I beat that shit, so I'm good.
I would have liked it. It just takes so long, and it's just I don't want to have that. Yeah, I don't have that type of time. Like I'm trying to pull all that with Yakuza.
Yeah, I was about to say because that's almost as big,
It's almost as big, but it doesn't have all those tedious side things that you have to do to drag out the days.
It's definitely a more faster paced game.
Yeah, it's story based. Everything is going in the right direction, and it's optional to do all the other shit. So, but yeah, that's Persona's the one that comes.
Persona, all right. Persona 5, I should say.
Yeah, Persona 5.
Man, you have any game that fits this description?
Games that I feel like I should have spent a little bit more time with.
I got one for you.
Oh, really? What's that?
Rogue Galaxy.
Oh yeah. That one kind of suffered because that was at the end of my sort of era of sort of playing traditional RPGs. I just could not finish that game off. I got to one of the I got pretty far in the game and I just sort of like fell off. So yeah, Rogue Galaxy would definitely be one.
Yeah, no, I remember you really regretted that. You're like, man, I wish I could have finished that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like I already got it. I already got to. I don't know. It's just funny. As soon as my life got busier with work, was all old JRPGs sort of went out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those take forever, not for sure.
Yeah, that one's a sort of old school JRPG made by Level 5, so it's pretty much like another version of the Dragon Quest 8 game.
Didn't you buy it for PS4 just to show your support?
Yes, I did. I bought that game for PS4. And by the way, that PS4 version is broken as fuck.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yeah, that thing is just like how one thing they don't tell you about all these some of those PlayStation 2 classics. A lot of those games are all screwed up for some odd reason. Not sure why, but yeah, Rogue Galaxy does not run right on the 4.
That sucks.
Wait, Carlos, is that mineral water you put on
Yeah,
the screen?
what is this, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh
did.
shit.
Yeah, it's
Topo
mineral
Chico.
water.
Well, Carlos,
Water.
since you have that on the screen, what about you? Is there a game you wish you could have dedicated more time to?
Yeah, there are some. Death Stranding and Red Dead Redemption 2. Because for reasons that I couldn't be in this country, I had to push those aside for like I wanted to play those games at launch, but I had to go away and then came back and I'm like, everyone already talked about it in the podcast.
Yeah, but
People
you can
already
still
moved
play it. You
on.
can still run and play it.
But
Like,
it's kind of it loses the point though. It's already old and shit,
Yeah, it's like I'm like, and then I'm thinking, am I doing it because I want to be in the know, would talk to all my friends about the game, or because I want to actually beat it? Sometimes like
I don't know. I mean, it's interesting about that because it's like you can still do it. I don't know. I mean, you don't need to be in the know. You don't need to be on the cusp. I mean, look at Brian.
no,
Brian's like a few years out.
No, but I feel where Carlos coming. I'm kind of like that with movies. I'm like, dude, if I don't see it the first week it comes out, I'm not gonna bother.
Yeah, there's two different types of people. There's people who, run the track, according to the laws, and there's other people that try to ram people out of the track.
Okay. Weird.
Brian is
I don't know what kind of analogy that is.
I don't understand that analogy either, man.
Brian is the type of guy that tries to run people out of the track. I'm the guy who.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I see where that's
I
going.
see it, man. That shit'll never be let go.
Because you're a slow ass driver. Move out the way. Chris knows what's up. Like he just goes like the secret knots.
Chris uses nitro, man.
He's got the cheat codes. He's got not. Oh shit! What happened?
You're just like a grind driver, Carlos. Man, just get out the way.
Just get out the way, slow ass.
Yo, man. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, those are the two games. Those are the two games that I wish I played more or had more time for.
Yeah. All
Or
right.
I could go back.
Yeah. Brett, what about you? And the answer can't be The Witcher.
It's definitely not.
It'll never be The Witcher.
All right. There's one game that still kind of haunts me. The one that got away that I'm just like, motherfucker, I wish I had played that game. That game is Demon Souls.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh,
But Brett comes around the second time, man.
I know, dude. That's one of the reasons I am so incredibly excited. This is the only Souls game I didn't beat.
Wow, Brett's gonna have a redemption story here, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. All right, so there you go. And Chris.
I'd say, like you, there's like fighting games I wanted to get into. I just didn't have the time. I got pissed at Street Fighter V in the beginning because it was just flat out broken. And I liked Injustice, but goddamn, Mortal Kombat controls mess with my brain, and I cannot rewire myself to do MK moves. Like it's always like back forward or back like this. I can't do it. Like so, I'm all fucked up. And but I like the game and I love the characters. I thought it was so cool, but I just didn't have the time to get into it. Like try to figure out some stuff. So yeah, that's about it. Like I have a backlog of stuff, but I really regret not playing the fighting games more.
Yeah. Brian.
Don't really have it. Again, I'm in the mindset of play the game whenever, really. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, you're like, I'll play whenever, man. All right.
Because it's still your experience. It's one thing someone can tell me everything about a game and the ending and what they felt, but it's my own personal experience. I want to experience it myself, just like a movie or a TV show. I could hear all about it and do the spoilers, but I still want to experience it for myself and watch it for myself. So
yeah, no, that's it's valid. I mean, think about it. I played Final Fantasy VI for the first time this year. It was cool, but definitely at the same time, it's like, oh shit, I'm mad late to the fucking party, you know. And of course, since it's Final Fantasy VI, it's a fucking legendary game, I already knew everything about it, you know. Like I knew exactly where the story was going to go and all that, you know. But yeah, okay. Moving on. Next question.
But I mean, what's interesting. What's interesting though with Final Fantasy VI, it's so far off the beaten path. Like it almost can be a totally new game to you. Like in other words, it's not like any of the newer games that came out. Like people are talking about Red Dead. Still people are talking about all these other titles. But that's so far back that it's to the point where it literally can be. You could literally get away with no spoilers, even though you already knew what was all about.
Yeah, I already knew years ago. You know. It's like by the time I got to watch Star Wars, I already knew everything. I already Darth Vader's father, all that shit. I already knew that just because of osmosis, you know, cultural osmosis. Muppet Babies, man, they spoiled a lot of shit of Star Wars in that fucking show, you know. Oh man, how many motherfuckers remember that shit? All right,
Muppet Babies.
Yeah, Muppet Babies, man, the cartoon.
They're still around.
Oh, the cartoon show.
Yeah.
Oh, they made a new one.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah, there's another one.
All right, let's move on. To mob hits. Okay, which year in gaming would you love to relive and why?
Man, a specific year?
Yeah.
1989.
Ooh, okay. What was so special about that year?
Everything. That was a year for everything for me. That was an ultimate year for gaming. You got the Game Boy that came out that year. We had tournaments going on and for NES and other things going on for the games. A lot of awesome arcade games were out. Final Fight was out. There was a lot going on. That arcades were hot. So that was a year. If you were a gamer, that was your year. You know, I remember that Game Boy. I remember playing it, being wowed, like shit. The power is in my hands. I don't need no glove or anything. This is it. This was fucking. Because before that, you only had those Tiger Directs and other bullshit. This was legit. I was so happy. I remember that year. So happy.
Well, I mean,
last year, my
yeah. I mean, there you go. It's like Super Mario Land came that year. Batman, the video game, came out that year. Castlevania, Dracula's Curse came out that year. DuckTales came out that year.
Man,
Golden
remember when games
Axe
used to be good?
year.
What happened, man?
Yeah, man.
For Carlos, Friday the 13th, the game came out that year.
Number one.
Phantasy Star 2 came out that year, 1989.
Yeah, man, that was such an awesome.
There's a lot of memories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, Manny. Since you're talking, what year would you like to revisit and why?
I would say maybe what's it? 1985 would have been
Really?
the year I think that Metal Gear came out.
Isn't that also the year? Hold on, did Metal Gear come out in '87?
Oh, was it 87?
Let's look at it.
Because '85 was when the Nintendo came out in America.
Oh, okay, hold on.
84. I thought it was 84.
No, it's '85.
Let's see, Metal Gear.
Yeah, I thought Metal Gear came out in '87.
1988.
1988. Oh shit.
June 1988.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to 1988. It was good times then. You know,
Yeah, Metal Gear came out. There you go.
Me and Adam were visiting each other and all that shit. You know, go to his house. We pretty much play the same game.
By the way, it says July 13th, 1987 here.
I'm looking at it says June 1988.
Okay, I don't know. I'm seeing.
Well, there's a Japanese date and then there's
gotcha.
an American date.
Yeah.
So
okay, I'm probably looking at a Japanese date then.
Yeah. So if it's let's see, yes, 87 would probably be the American date, I would think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I remember it being that. For Nintendo, I'm looking through it.
There's some images that always pop up in my head when I think of things, and when I think of that game, I think of the back of a comic. I think it was what comic, but I just remember in the back.
Yeah, where it says "Gear Up."
Yeah, Gear Up, and I remember I ripped that out and I put that up on my wall in my room. And I told my mom, I want this game. Look at all this cool stuff. And she was like, well, if you get these grades, and then you'll get it. And I just remember we had a star system, and I would hit the star system, and I knew I was going to get that game. That was amazing. And until this day, I always remember that. Just looking at that, that was so awesome. Just to see all the gadgets that you would have. It's like, shit, this guy's going to have, I can get a cardboard box. You know, it's like, this is great. Ugh.
Wait, what was it? Yeah, man, was it 87 or 88? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that year was the one that was me and Adam playing, we going to doing all that stuff. It was good, good times.
All right, Chris.
For me, I'd say it was probably 1998.
98.
Yeah. I I got deep into StarCraft. It came out that year. I think I had PS1. I think Metal Gear Solid came out in 98.
Yeah, I did. That's right. Yep,
Yes,
98,
it came out in 98. Yep.
Yeah, so Metal Gear Solid, you had probably the biggest title on N64, Ocarina of Time came out in 98. I think Pokemon was I think I played it around then.
Yeah, I
Pokemon
think that's
Red.
around the time it came out.
Yeah, so it was a good year for games. That was a good fucking year. So I'd say that. And I was still in college. I remember getting I think in that year too, I bought a Super Nintendo. Not Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. Originally for Mario 64, and I bought Turok, and I had those two games at the end of that year. Yeah, so there was a lot going on. I remember that was good. And Half-Life. Half-Life I played on the PC.
Nice. All right. Apologies to anybody who I'm stealing this answer from. I have to go with the next year, Chris, 1999, man. That was the year the Dreamcast came out, man. That was the first console I bought with my own money, right? And I remember the day it came out, 99.99. Manny and I were saving up for fucking the whole summer, trying to get that system, So that day, I had school. I skipped school. I said, fuck that, college at that point, I was like, fuck that, Dreamcast, man, let's go, And Manny and I, we went over to Software Etc. at that time, right, Manny? Before it became
it was Software Etc. And
got our shit. And I remember we went to your house first, and we set we set that up, and I was watching you play some games, and I went to mine's, and just that fucking launch. And we've talked about it many times. I don't need to go over that. The launch was fucking amazing, and just that feeling, man. That was a magical year. There's other years that I could have really talked about, like 2004 when Metal Gear 3 came out and San Andreas came out the same year. But yeah, for me, got to be 1999. Although here's one I would like to relive this year, but it's not really relive, just experience it as the way it should have been, because I didn't get into 2 gens ago until 2008. I wish I was there for 2007, because that was the fucking Cambrian explosion of gaming. Everything came out that fucking year, 2007. But I wasn't there personally for that. I was still on PS2 in 2007. I was playing Final Fantasy 12 and shit. But yeah, 1999 for me for sure, man. Dreamcast. I was like, yo, man, fucking Sega's gonna murder everybody right now. And then 2 years later, womp womp. All right, Mr. Murdoch.
Oh man, I think I'm gonna have to go 2004.
That's a good year. I almost went there too, Brett. I almost went there.
There's a ton of games that released that year. San Andreas was my favorite GTA.
Halo 2.
Halo 2 dropped.
Right, Halo 2 is on there.
Hey, Brett, I got another one for you. Half-Life 2.
Yep. Damn, that was just the golden age. The biggest crowning one that I had seen was when World of Warcraft released.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
that was like a huge social party, man. Like people divided lines and wore T-shirts, called each other out in public. Like it was a weirdly social experience that I don't think you could really replicate again. Just like everybody was playing the game, just everybody was, and it was took so long that and you don't really stop, so it continued to people were playing this game for like 8-9 months, man, at least. Some of them just haven't fucking stopped since then. So you had all these players in one place, all playing the same game at the same time. Which kind of Red Dead was the closest thing I can think that did that, because it was so long that so many people were in the experience at the same time. But due to WoW's ongoing nature, man, it just kept going and it just kept getting bigger. It was explosive for years, but it all started in 2004, man. Pretty much every genre you can think of.
Fable, 2004.
Yeah, see, like pretty much every genre that you can think of came out with a dope ass game in 2004.
Yeah, again, my favorite game of all time, Metal Gear Solid 3, came out that year too. That was a good fun. Again, I almost went with 2004, but I had to give it my respect to the Dreamcast.
I mean, I almost had to go with the Dreamcast, but I went with 2004. So
yeah.
I think it's
we represented both of them, so that's good.
Yeah.
You know.
And
Right.
I didn't get my Dreamcast right away because I took my N64 to Funko Land. I was like, give me that Dreamcast. I was so happy when I got that, and sort of the Berserk whenever that came out.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I
game was
remember
awesome.
that. Crazy. All right, Mr. Carlos with the Xbox.
20.
Yesterday,
20
when he got his Xbox.
Hey, 2020, baby.
2020, baby, Saturday.
Yay.
X.
2007 for me. I think
That-
that's the megaton year. That's where a lot of fucking games, a lot of starting like franchises like Uncharted, like
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed, like fucking Bioshock I think was one of them.
Bioshock was one of them. Mass Effect. And you know what? I'm going to toss it in there too because they pretty much relaunched the whole fucking franchise. Modern Warfare came out that year, you know?
Modern Warfare came out that year. Halo
Orange
3
Box.
came out that year. The Orange Box with Portal came out that year.
God of War 2.
God of War 2 came out that year. That year was fucking nuts, man.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Crisis came out. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, Crisis came out.
Yep.
They remade that shit.
Super Mario Galaxy, Carlos. Damn.
Oh, Super Mario Galaxy, that's
crazy.
Yeah, man, that year is
Jesus.
fucking nuts, man. It's just one of those fucking years. It's hard to top. And for me, I was at the age where I could buy every fucking game. You know,
There you
I was
go.
working. I was barely an adult, but I was working, and I can't say that like there's a lot of other years like Chris. I think Chris mentioned 2004 was that Brett. That's a great year, but I mean, I wasn't working at that year. Like I wasn't even an adult that year, so I couldn't have gotten all those games. So 2007 is like the first year where it's like I can get anything I want. And it's one of the best years ever in gaming. So yeah, that's my year.
Nice. Brian.
Good answers.
Can I answer for Brian?
Uh-oh.
What, 2020 when Cyberpunk comes out?
Brian's answer is 2010, but in reality it's 2007. But he plays games late, so.
Oh, man.
Actually, was about to say 2007. I think was actually a good year because I think that was actually the first time. Wait, when did God of War 3 come out?
2010, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And I say 2007. I was able to actually afford my first ever console by myself. No handouts, no gimmies, no nothing. Just me earning money and whatnot. And funny thing enough, is actually it was snowing that day, and I remember that because I'd cycled from my university to the store to grab it, and then it started like snow on the way back. So I'm like, okay, I need my bike to get back to university the next day, so I can't leave my bike, and I'm not going to leave my console there because why the hell not? So I said to myself, I'm not going to cycle home in case I slip on the snow and then drop my console, and then that's like what, £300 lost. So I actually walked it home from the store home. It took like an hour and a half, like with my console just in the back, just thinking, I hope no one fucking robs me. So yeah, that was my first time I bought my console, and yeah, I was very happy. I was happy with my PS3, just the PS3 Slim, I think it was. Yeah, the Slim one. Very happy. I was really annoyed because I missed out on the gunmetal grey PS3 one because it looks so good, but just did not have enough quantity here, so I just missed out on that. So yeah, I think I go back to then because that's when I was enjoying Call of Duty. Like there was a time I actually enjoyed it. You know, I played Modern Warfare 2, was loving that. Then God of War 3 came out, and then Mag was there. It's like wow, like, games. And that's when Sony were actually giving out games like almost every single month. Like, hey, here's this exclusive, here's that exclusive. You know, it's like, damn, Sony was good. So yeah, I think I'd go back to then.
I like the Sony was good. Oh man.
You can't beat that. Like they were giving out like an exclusive every single month because they had like Killzone one month, then they had Little Big Planet, then they had something else, then they had SOCOM. It's like, there were too many games. Like they were literally making game after game after game, like every single month. Like yes, it was not the best game ever, but it was something different every single month, and that was great. Like as a gamer, what else do you want?
Yeah, you want games. Yeah. All right, move on here, man. We got another question from Mr. Mob Hits. What game or games truly felt like they took you on an adventure? Kind of a big open question there.
Mass Effect. Mass Effect 2 did that.
Yeah. There's too many games to name, man.
BioShock did that.
Most RPGs, I would say. Final Fantasy 2, Phantasy Star, the original, Phantasy Star 2. So many. And for action games, I always say like what also felt like a really great adventure was the God of War 1, and
Yes.
it's sort of circular design where you go all the way over to the Temple Pandora, then you go to this other thing, and then all of a sudden you come right back underneath the whole level again, and you're back to the beginning of the game. Really cool stuff.
I'm just gonna go with the game that the first game I played. I was like, oh shit. Tomb Raider, the first Tomb Raider, played that on the Saturn. It was like the first, it was an open world, obviously, but for me, it was like the most big open game that I've ever played. I know a lot of people, their answer is Super Mario 64, rightfully so, but for me, it was Tomb Raider. It just felt like there's this giant fucking world to explore. I played that game up until the Dreamcast came out, man. Because remember, I had a Saturn, the other Tomb Raiders did not come out, so I only played that one Tomb Raider game all the way up to when the Dreamcast came out, But again, it was just like so immersive. I remember the specifically the level where you see like this giant lake and shit. You dive under it, and then there's these two giant statues. I think one of them was Anubis, the other one was Horus. I'm like, oh shit, this is fucking nuts. Obviously, I would have the feeling replicated even bigger when I played Grand Theft Auto 3 for the first time. I was like, hold on, I could just go there, go everywhere. What the fuck is going on here? But first one I did it for me was Tomb Raider. That's still kind of the standard bearer from what I judge every kind of action adventure game, because I was the kind of first one of those. All right, Adam.
I thought I answered it.
Oh, you did? You did already? Okay. All right, Carlos. What about you?
I already answered it.
All right. Everybody
and
jumped
I
in.
Brian.
Yeah. Oh, you answered for Brian too?
Yeah, I answered for both.
We were talking about, remember, Gears, BioShock, Mass Effect. Those are all.
All right, so we're talking about Brian. Brian, go ahead.
You already answered too.
I missed the question. My bad.
See, he didn't know, man. Oh, the question was, what's a game that you felt like took you on a real, true adventure? I'm just thinking about it.
True adventure. Ooh, that's a fun one.
Warframe.
Carlos, what was your answer for me, out of interest?
It was The Witcher 3.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Nice adventure with old Jerry over there. Like I think that game, like the best thing about it was just how good the side quests were. Like I've never played a game where the side quests are that good. It's usually with side quests they're very like, oh, you speak to a guy, you go somewhere, it's an ambush, you kill everyone, that's the end of it. Like Witcher 3 side quests were actually like, hey, it's actually a side quest. You actually go through the motions, and most of them were as involved as the main quest in terms of, okay, there's branching storylines, branching dialogue, you can end stuff here and there. And one of the quests was just so great. Like a woman has locked herself out her house and she wants a frying pan. And that's it. That's literally the quest. It's brilliant. It's brilliant because it's so stupid, and that's why it's brilliant. And the one thing that gets me that I never really notice is this is an RPG where you actually have to play the role. Like your role is as a witcher, so you cut down demons and any sentient beings, you kind of leave them alone because they're sentient. They know right from wrong. So the quests were actually that. They were just like, hey, this demon here, like you do your job. Like there's a demon there. Like, do you cut them down? Do you not cut them down? I don't know. Use your Witcher things. It's you actually play the role. Whereas most things is like, you're not really playing the role. You're just kind of like going down the path the game decides you on. But this felt like you're actually playing the role of a Witcher. So, yeah, Witcher 3, great adventure.
Cool. Brett. Can I answer for you, by the way, Brett? Can I answer for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Breath of the Wild.
Nope.
Oh, all right, I was wrong.
Oh!
Go ahead. What's your answer?
The biggest example is also kind of the first. That would be Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Oh.
Going from what was, RPGs at that time to just what Morrowind was, man. It was strange, it was exciting, it was broken. I even recently learned that Bethesda made it the way they did because they thought they were going out of business and closing shop. So they said, let's just make the craziest game of whatever we would want, and fuck it, there's no consequences. And so they went nuts, and Morrowind was the result. And it was both obscure and incredibly famous. People who played it, it was just, like I said, it wasn't even like other RPGs. Like, I don't even know where the lore comes from. Its flavor is incredibly unique. It's not Tolkien-esque. It's not D&D based. It's just its whole thing, its whole own thing. So it was super weird, and it was this very unique giant world that you could explore every nook and cranny of, and nobody was telling you how your adventure had to go. If you felt like breaking off the path, you could break off the path. You could write your own story, which to me was, something like I was off leash, and it was revolutionary.
Nice. Chris.
Man, I'd have to go back to the original Fallout, like the first one.
Oh wow.
Because that I found that whole world crazy. The whole idea of you coming out of a bomb shelter and everything's fucked up, and these people are living. I mean, it's worse than Mad Max. They're just fucking backwards and shit. They just give you stuff. It's like, oh, you gotta get this kit that can restart the Earth, and then it's just, but go out in the waste and there's giant scorpions and shit, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? And just talking to people, and that was the crazy thing. Like, I had played old Sierra games, but they're very scripted, where you're like King's Quest or those type of games. But this one, I was like, oh, I actually thought the choices meant something. Like, I had options. Like, oh shit, I could tell this guy fuck off. I could tell this guy I want to buy this. I could say you fuck off. Like, oh, I go over here. Like, yeah. So, I think that was probably the earliest thing I can remember, or felt like that, where I had my choices meant something. Maybe they didn't, but it felt that way.
Nice. All right, man. And the final question of the night is from Roger. So his question is, do you guys prefer when a game has a quick announcement to release window, or early announcements to build up hype or flop for years? I think we know what our answer is going to be.
Yeah, rather if it's a short window.
Short window, right?
Yeah, I don't want to hear it's like, oh, we got a new game coming. When? 3 years from now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Short window.
6 months holiday this year. I was like, okay, I could deal with that.
No,
I hate these long multi-year waits.
I think you could build up great hype with a short release window. Look at Resident Evil 7. We were at E3, and they're just like, oh, you could download the demo right now, and that shit's coming out in a few months. Or Bethesda dropped Doom. Remember? Looks like it was
and Fallout 4. Remember? Fallout 4 was the big one. They were like, because people have been anticipating that game for years, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, by the way, the game's coming out in 3 months. Let's go. It's like, fuck. Yeah.
So I think the short window's better.
I'm gonna say, because 6 months to a year at most. Because I do like getting hype for a game too. So I'm gonna, I think I've said this before. It's like, if you're gonna go that long, announce it at 1 E3 and then it comes out the next year. But yeah, 6 months I think is better, to be honest. But if you have to go that long, But again, we talked about this before. Why do they announce games years and years ahead of time? For shareholders. That's why. For the portfolio and all that shit. But as gamers, we want that shit now. And we have examples. we have examples where they've built up a lot of hype in a short amount of time, so it can be done. Just they lazy, you know. Yeah, we're all pretty unanimous on that one. It's like short release window, man. Give me that shit now. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%. Like, again, Fallout 4, I think, did the best ever, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because the K on stage, it's like, oh yeah, there's been rumors of the new Fallout. Yes, we are making a Fallout game. It's like, oh, great. Like, the hype level is like a 2, you know? And then like, okay, cool. Here's a trailer. Like, oh, okay, trailer. Oh, okay, fair enough. You know, they show the trailer, hype level goes up to like a 4. And then they say, okay, cool, you like the trailer, guys? Well, here's some gameplay, like, as we played. And it's like, okay, hype level goes up like 6.5, and it's like, yeah, nice gameplay, right, guys? Well, guess what? You can play it in 3 months, and it's like 10 instantly. It's like they built it up so damn well, it was ridiculous. Which makes it really funny how no one else has done something similar. It's really weird. It's like it was just perfect hype build up because it was so much in such short amount of time that no one really knew what and how to take it. It's like, oh, new Fallout game coming this month or in 3 months. Here's gameplay trailer. Here's footage. Here's everything you need to know about the game in one go. It was literally like they just dropped a bomb on us. Yes, the full pun intended there, and the whole thing was just the aftermath. Brilliant.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was awesome. You know, I don't think a lot of studios can do that just because so many things go wrong with the game. You know, I think they got lucky too. To be honest, they were lucky nothing fucked up. You know, but that was good. Too bad it can't happen all the time.
Well, there was the thing about the one guy that leaked it on 4chan, but no one believed him because it just seemed a bit weird.
Yeah.
And then there was the game itself, but we don't talk about that, do we, Brett?
Oh man. Yep. All right. We're done here, people. So yes, next gen November, man. We are continuing to give away a free game every single week of November, man. So
Yep.
head over to the Throwdown Twitter at Throwdown Show. There's we have a pinned tweet there. All you have to do is literally reply to it with the hashtag TD next gen November. Give us your Twitch handle. And if you want to say something, go ahead. You don't really have to. You just need those, and you're good. So we're gonna pick somebody else again on Thursday. You know, should be fun. And then remember, when we pick a winner, it will be 24 hours. You got 24 hours to get back to us. Otherwise, we're gonna re-roll on the questions. And also, if you had already registered for the contest, you don't need to do it again. We got your name. It's all in the file. You know, so you have 3 more chances to win, people. You know.
Yep.
And Manny, I see you over there fiddling with something. Yeah, the mask. Well, since I got you on camera, you need to pimp anything.
Yes. Let me take this to back.
Yeah, go on to check out DC Comics. Got a bunch of stuff for them. Batman Death Metal, which is the companion book. Also got we just announced that we're going to be doing Immortal Wonder Woman with Nubia, which is pretty cool, an old school Wonder Woman character. Then we got a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, stay tuned. Always got some fun stuff. Oh, by the way, some Sanity. That's the game I did the key art for. On the 16th of this month on Xbox. Was it Gold? What did they call it? Adam?
It's on Game Pass. Games with Gold.
Games with Gold. Yeah, Games with Gold. Swim Sanity is going to be totally free. So from the 16th to the 15th of next month, you can get Swim Sanity for free. And there's also going to be some. We also got some cool new DLCs that they just announced. So stay tuned for that. Yeah.
Good stuff. Adam, man, what you got?
The same old, just a bunch of reviews, and we did another episode of I Am Negan for Fear the Walking Dead that aired tonight. So if you're into Walking Dead and you haven't watched it, then you can go and hear the spoiler. And we also shit on World of Beyond. That was earlier this week. That was a shit episode, one of the worst I've ever seen in the history of any Walking Dead franchise. That was really bad, really bad. That whole series needs to go right now. Right now, it's just sliding down. It should be on. What's that kids network? Freeform for teens. That's where they should put that fucking show.
Wow.
Oh man.
Hey, careful what you say, man. You want to keep getting free stuff from those guys, don't you?
Yeah, gotta be legit. I can't kiss ass.
No, that's good. That's good, man.
I got all these likes. Everybody just started go boop, 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 because it's that's it. Yeah, they send it, but gotta call it like it is. That's how you make their product better.
That's right. That's right, man. All right. As for myself, I'm gonna have my review of Assassin's Creed Valhalla up on PC Mag sometime this week. I can't say when because embargoes, but it'll be this week because the game drops on Tuesday for the Xbox Series X first, and then on the PlayStation 5 on Thursday. And also, we will be doing something special with the PS5. We're gonna review the console like a week or two after we've all played with it and stuff. So, but as soon as I get mine, we're doing an unboxing, instant, like aha, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be crazy, So that's gonna do it for us once again for the Throwdown show here on Twitch. As I'm vamping to pull my notes up, you already know, man. That's how you know. Hey, yo, why the fuck is Tony talking all slow and shit?
Yo, man, you talking slow? You drunk?
Yeah, right. Nah, man, I talk normal and shit. Why am I talking to my cousin right now? Yo, Tony, what's up, man?
Hey guys, what's up?
Anyway, man, make sure you follow us on the Twitch and Twitter and subscribe on YouTube and join our Discord. YouTube got a couple things up there, Tony's take, a random one I did in the city, Carlos, you'll recognize the place.
Oh, excuse me?
Yeah, watch the video. You'll instantly recognize I got the fucking orb and shit. I did it after a certain somebody won, so Manhattan was all cheering and shit, so you get to hear some of that. I shall not speak his name. And yeah, you can find us on any podcast app by searching for Throwdown Show. You can visit throwdownshow.com for past episodes, the MP3s of past episodes, and you'll find links to all that stuff down there in the description and all that good jazz. Even on Twitch, literally you scroll down, it's all right there. Anyway, that's it. I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
I'll see you later, guys.
Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Next time you see me, that tower in the Vaporub won't be so lonely.
Oh, excuse me? You're going to have to pull the camera back to get all that fucking thing in
the
frame.
I'm going to have to put that in the front of the room. That's just going to fucking take all space.
Oh, man. All right, Brett Murdoch.
Since I ordered from Target like an idiot, I'll be playing on the 17th, so yay for me.
Oh,
damn, that's almost British time. Fuck. Because those motherfuckers ain't getting their shit until the 19th,
Yeah,
Crazy.
no. Buying from Target is absolute bullshit, and I'm never going to pre-order from them again.
Yeah, lesson learned, man. That's fucked up shit. All right, Adam Vale.
Yeah, have fun with their new consoles.
There you go.
Yeah.
And Brian Manjoma.
Yes, Tony may not be able to confirm when his Valhalla review comes out, but I can tell you that it comes out on a day ending with Y.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does, All right, people. We'll see you, man. Later.
Deuces.
Later.
peace.